Hi, my name is Luke Sheldrick. I own and operate Terramore Farm, and I do a weekly vlog about growing organic vegetables and cut flowers. This week is week 11 of the vlog. It was another incredible week. We cover a lot of stuff, including hardening off our little harden off hut here behind me, and then we planted a ton of stuff out into the field. There was some cold nights, 5 below, 2 nights, so that held up some of our planting, but then we got a lot done yesterday on Friday. It's Saturday now, so this is technically a look back on the week, but I'm gonna take you for a little tour now, and then we'll go through. You can see some footage of everything that went on throughout the week. So this is how the vlog goes. I'm doing these weekly throughout the season. It's gonna be an incredible year, so check this one out, and check out the other ones, and check out the future ones too. So please like and subscribe if you're interested in how a small farm works throughout a whole season. Look how beautiful this is. That's one of 3 fields. Let's go for a little walk. All right, it's Tuesday of week 11. It's a bit of a wild one around here, a lot going on. We broke into 3 separate teams. So they're getting the basil planted in the outer beds of greenhouse 1. They're prepping beds because we ran out of space in our hardening off little tent, and there's cold nights coming. So we're getting the kale out to the field to make space for the hardening off, because even though there's cold nights coming, we have to harden off so that we can get the transplanting we need to get done this week, done by the end of the week. So a lot of stuff is moving out from the greenhouse into my little hardening off area. Dana and I are on our way to talk to Louise about the flowers for the week, and off we go. So we've set up a system, actually off of the advice of Catherine from Ferme Quatretemps, of having one-on-ones with all the leadership roles every week. So right now, Dana and I guess it's not a one-on-one, but Dana and I are going to meet with Louise for hers to go over what's going on with the flowers for the week. Because there's different areas of focus on the farm, these check-ins just give us a chance to go over on the to-do list for that area, and then also any concerns of that individual lead role with us. So hello, Louise.
Hi, Luke.
Part of what's kept me really busy in the office is making sure I'm on my toes, because now that I have a manager and an assistant manager to be accountable to, it creates the need for better systems, because I need to make sure they know what's on the agenda. So I'm now, in essence, getting better at my job because I have increased accountability, which is the greatest part about hiring people, because you have to create systems. Just about to launch our Dahlia pre-sales online. We're a little bit later than other people, but we are doing ours for pickup only. And we wanted a chance to double check also like the success of our dahlias from over the winter. And overall, Louise, I think we're looking really good. Yeah? Yeah, so most of the types, she's gone through about half of them so far. And so we're just going through, pulling out all of them, and we have our what we packed in the fall and then what we actually still have good. And right now, most of them are over 90%, like a couple with a little bit of loss. And the way we do that is we store them in peat moss in a sealed tote, which is really important. We found that last year. Anyone that had any cracks or anything had a lot worse success. And then also we keep them in this cold room I've mentioned in other videos, where we have it set to 50 degrees over winter, which is perfect. And it's not the most efficient, but we have a space heater that's counteracting our cool bot, and that keeps it in that 50 range throughout the winter safely. So not ideal, but that's how we're doing it. And if you know the value of dahlias, you know that it is worth the cost of that to ensure good success. And when I say good success, like, look at how beautiful these are. They're not dried up at all, but they're also not any rot. Yeah, they got some eyes coming already. So these are, like, if someone bought these and found them in the package, they're gonna be ecstatic. And we are ecstatic because they're all awesome. And we have about, I think, what do we have, 1,500 or something? 1,200 total, and the 600 that we're gonna sell. So we're gonna keep 600. I don't know where we're gonna put the 600. Okay, we're keeping 600. We don't know where they're going though. I think we bought more too. So yeah, if you caught last Friday, this is the carrots that I just flame weeded, and you gotta see they just popped. and like such a nice stand of carrots. Gabby and I are finally tidying the tool room. So we're gonna move all the metal stuff that I've realized it could just sit outside. If it rusts, who cares? It's gonna lean against the barn on the outside, which is gonna make more space for actually properly organizing our actual tools that should belong in here. So Gabby's on it, irrigation's going out, killing it, and we're gonna get this nice and spick and span. I don't know if you can see how awkward this is. Just a couple geniuses. Hi, Granny. And also, while we're doing that organizing, we are tidying this corner, which used to be the home for our amendments. We're gonna make it a committed flower space, because last year, poor Louise was moving tables in and out of this barn right here to do her flowers. So having a committed space is gonna be excellent. We're gonna put some shelves up and hopefully some built-in tables, and she'll have her own spot with all of her stuff. So this is gonna be a massive improvement. These will go up to the greenhouse, sit under a tarp, and then we're gonna do some built-ins, like built-in tables here, so that they're the right size, height. We also have one of those standard clippy things. It's gonna be on the end. So it's Thursday morning. Last night we had a lot of anticipation for the big -5 night. That was the second one of the week. So we had a big old what to do at the end of the day to wrap everything up list on the board. Everyone got around and did it. So we cleaned up some hoses, double covered some stuff just to be sure, and hopefully everything survives. So we're gonna do a little check around, but we don't rush to do that early in the morning because everything can still be sad and needs time to wake up. So your inclination can be to rush out and check the fields right away, but don't do that because they're still sad sometimes in the morning and they need to wake up throughout the day. So keeping an eye on the forecast, we just realized that it's just as cold tonight as it was last night. So we were gonna do all of our transplanting today, but we're just gonna push all of that transplanting back one more day. So we'll just go switch modes to prepping, and all is well. We're just gonna have a really big transplant day tomorrow. So we'll get a really nice look tomorrow at a full day of hammering out a lot of transplanting. And yeah, other than that, we're gonna be ahead for next week on planting as well, because we're gonna have a lot of stuff prepped. So we're working away here and we're working on standardizing everything. Because we have these 3 markets, we wanna have the exact same things going to each market. So there's gonna be bins with like the essentials for everything. Sharpies, tape, scissors, a bin for each market. Then we also want it standardized, the placement of vegetables, so that every staff knows that this is the order they set things out in. And if something's missing, you just proceed as is, but everything will be standardized. And that's gonna help us to look the same at the markets. People will know who we are. And also like consumer trends, they're gonna get, I hate to say it, but like consumers are sort of in a way trained. You just get to learn where things are. And if it's always in the same place, then you naturally will know where it is. If it's moved, that can cause people to miss it from week to week. You wanna have it just completely the same all the time. And that's what we want for all 3 of our markets.
So I've labeled everything, so we have all the different types of bags, paper, plastic, pints, canopy sizes.
Yeah.
We're gonna store them over here, and then every week I will do a refresh of what you need to take to what all 3 markets need.
Perfect.
That way we're not taking boxes and boxes of everything. And
I know, I felt like they were just overstocked with some things that we didn't need and understocked with things we did need.
Now it's tidy.
Perfect.
And I will make sure every market is stocked with the appropriate bags and containers.
Amazing. And then you want me to we should get an order in for pints and quarts, right? So we have like a surplus?
Yeah. How's your day out? Day out from prison.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I said I look like an inmate today. So I'm just like, can't eat lunch with you guys, sorry. My probation officer Sam. I have to call Sam on my lunch and just let him know I'm putting my hours in.
It's coming. Nice job, y'all. Ziggy's helping out with the quackgrass. He might even have it done before you guys get over here.
Oh, thanks, Ziggy. Nice you finally showed up.
This is what happens when you let the quackgrass get away from you on the edges. There we go. That's why we edge it like this. Unfortunately, it's every year, but then we maintain it throughout the year. And if you don't, that's what it looks like. This bed right here, brutal. Ziggy.
they're not being mixed,
So yeah, we go through every plot before we prep and dig out any perennial weeds, and we edge it to prevent the quackgrass from moving in, and then we prep. And it's a time investment, but over time it's worth it, because then you're working towards weed-free beds. Yeah, the digging fork is the best for the quackgrass because the shovel
Cuts it all.
it kind of cuts it all. This thing, you just loosen up all the soil and get all the clumps out, and you don't have to dig through with your hands. So look at Paula killing it. Look at this thing. It's so satisfying when you get a big rhizome out of there, like, or a big clump of rhizomes. Like, ooh.
Yes, Paula.
I mean, we do hate the quackgrass, but the reason it's so rewarding is you're like, look at all this crap that's out of the garden now. Ooh, ooh. Last year we were calling them big fish, like who could get the biggest fish? That's a big fish.
So we're just prepping some beds here. It was quite frozen this morning, so it kind of delayed our progress. We had to wait for some of the ground to thaw, but now we're just getting going with the rest of the prep.
Oh yeah, tell me about your amendment. And chicken poo-poo. Ooh. And putting it on all the beds. It's gonna be yummy.
All right, they've been kaling it out here. 6 beds of kale planted real quick with the drip all down, ready to rock and ready to be covered for tonight before the frost. So when we're laying out row covers, we place them in place and then we tack them down in the middle and then work backwards towards each end, because often if you say I do this end and then the other person's doing the other end, you could have it wound up, and that's how I say we prevent fights, because if you start in the middle and both work back from there, then you have like a solid edge and then it doesn't get wound up and you're not tacking down the wrong side and fighting over whose fault it was. There you go. So here we're doing that right now from the middle. We're gonna work our way back. And these are all tacked down nice. Despite being in a wild windstorm right now. All right, it's Friday morning. Today is the big planting day. We delayed it one more day because we didn't want fresh transplants going down to -5. But now it seems, at least we hope, the cold is done. At least for the short term. There could be some cold nights again, but at least they'll be a little more acclimatized, hardened off after. We're just not gonna put out immediate transplants directly into -5.
This morning we're just getting ready to transplant some Salanova in the first 4 beds. Then we have spinach going in with the paper pot machine, and then parsley in the last 2. So we're just bringing these up using the minivan to save some time. And Gabby's getting us ready with the landscape fabric.
Whoop, whoop. The transplants are incredible. If we could get these midsummer, I would be so happy, and we're still trying to figure out ways to do it. Maybe some shade cloth. I would love to try like a little shade tunnel for the outside area this summer. It would be great. We've experimented with some stuff before, but I do think the key to great midsummer salad is also in treating the transplants with shade cloth, not just the field stuff. And this is proof of it now, because these are just, well, somewhat proof, because these are just so beautiful. So we plant all of our Salanova into landscape fabric. It helps protect it from weeds. We do 4 rows 6 inches apart. This here is the white landscape fabric. We also use black. Typically we use the white for midsummer, but also like it's really, we've done a study on it and it's not super huge difference. We thought in theory the white would reflect light, but the soil temperatures underneath both were actually comparable. We did a study with the EFAO 2 years ago, which is what I just referenced when I was talking about the shade cloth as well. So we're still on the hunt for really amazing midsummer salad. And like I said, I have a theory that it's related to right from the nursery. I think we want to have more shade cloth there so that the starts look this nice, because if you've grown midsummer lettuce, you know that the transplants by then are like small and yellow and they don't look super healthy. They still produce, but they don't produce super well. So I'm still on a hunt for the answer, but for now, this is what we do and this is what we will continue to do, and we'll add that idea, the shade cloth, at the nursery this summer and see. Cal did a wicked job here with the paper pot. I missed it because the battery was dead, but Look at that, she did awesome. And it's gonna be another really nice, oh buddy, oh yeah, you gotta get out of there. Oh, boo-boo. You're gonna have to learn the way of the farm, buddy. You, boo-boo, what are you doing? So one person goes along and just pops them out, and then another follows behind and transplants. We use the 2 Bad Cats tray popper that you've seen in other videos, and that helps loosen the cells in advance. So then we have Gabby just rolling along with a butter knife. We used to decide whether it was a butter knife like planting or just a finger planting, but now we just bring them and it's just standardized because sometimes you hit a hard spot. It's just nice to, it's not quite as fast, but it's just nice to have that save your fingers over the longevity of the bed, and it's just standardized. We just go boop boop, and it's still very fast. Look at that. Whew. Too fast. Look at it. Oh my gosh. Season 2 for Gabby, and she's crushing it. Boo boo, are you in trouble again? Hey, you stay out of trouble. Flowers are happening. Daffodils. Woo. And the tulips too. Yeah, we got it. So with our tulips, they are planted into essentially like a redug bed. We dig it all out and plant them and then recover it. So dig out a big old wide trench with the BCS. You can check our TikTok for those videos. This is how we do it. And they should be able to pull roughly by yourself, like just with your hand. But if you feel they're snapping, different varieties are different. If we feel they're snapping, we also use the digging fork. So Louise just pulled one up perfect there. Let's see if I can get one out here. I'm gonna go right next to you so that I'm cheating a bit. Ooh, yeah. So there we go.
Just them when we see the colour showing. So we just take the fork, gently loosen around them because we don't want to break them off the bulb. And then just slowly pull them up. And we keep them on the bulb so that it still gives the tulip nutrients it needs, and then we can also save these into the fridge, and they're good for about 3 to 4 weeks. They're still getting supply from the bulb.
Oh gosh, look at this. You're cute. All right, so for direct seeded carrots, which are right here, we have a very particular system that we do to attempt to have the carrots come up without weeds. The way that we do it is we prep the beds a few days before we're gonna plant the carrots, and then we also irrigate them. Like we're basically, it's the same as a stale seed bed. You're attempting to encourage weed growth, like we actually want the weeds to grow. Because then what we do when we direct seed, a couple days after prepping them, up to a week, we do not disturb the soil. The preparation is done. We direct seed right into those beds, so the weeds technically have like a bit of a head start. Because what we want to do is flame weed prior to the emergence of the carrots. So then we also place a few beet seeds at the head of the bed, and then we heavily irrigate, and then we tarp. And then what happens is the weed seeds are all gonna germinate under the tarp. Then we're gonna pull that up prior to the carrots germinating, which the beet seeds will signal because they will germinate a day before the carrots. So tarp back off, then we're gonna flame weed prior to the carrot seeds emerging. Then the carrot seeds will emerge in a weed-free bed, and we have deliberately encouraged a lot of weeds to germinate before then so that we can kill them all when we flame weed. So you'll see me flame weed next week, and tarping is gonna happen here in a minute after a really nice soaking. And what the tarp does is traps in the moisture so that we don't have to consistently irrigate as much. And since it's spring, the tarp is gonna warm the soil, but it's also gonna trap the moisture in there because it's gonna prevent any wind from going over the soil and also any direct sunlight. spinach is looking so good in here. Definitely will be ready for the first market next weekend. Turnip and radish in here probably won't, but they'll be ready the following week. But I still have some from the other greenhouse, so that's really good. So we're gonna have a full arsenal of stuff ready for the market next week, and I'll probably go over that in detail next week as we go through the full harvest.